Here we are on AI. Okay, so AI, here's the thing. I've written a little bit about this. I am a Luddite, a proud Luddite, I would say, but Luddites were not against technology. Luddites were against how technology and how corporate power was using technology to demean labor. And so it's being, and I don't want to drag into the Luddite thing too much, but it's having a recognition as a laborer and how technology interacts with you in a sense, or how you interact with technology. So I'm all for technological advances. You have a DSLR there. We're recording this video podcast here, which is going to be on a platform which educates people, which didn't exist, 15, 20 years ago. And YouTube has educated many people about many different kinds of things, not just YouTube, but many. There's all these wonders of technology. Clearly technology has not only democratized film production, but also film distribution and marketing. That's a given. And AI is an extension of that. My issue with AI is, and what I see a lot of filmmakers embracing AI because, well, filmmaking is expensive, there's less money, we need to be sustainable, so we have to use these new technologies to help us in our quest to make films for a better price and hopefully make money from it, or be sustainable or achieve our goals or whatever it may be. And I get that, but there's two main things that I'm concerned about AI. With the overarching concern of AI is the overarching concern that I have about most modern tech is that it's extractive. And you could say that all technology is extractive, but current internet, phone, the current tech, as it were, is highly extractive. And even though it provides certain benefits to society and creatives, whether those benefits outweigh the extent of the extraction, I would say is questionable. And you see it in how big tech has kind of taken over the entire entertainment industry and kind of, in a sense, destroyed an ecosystem while broken was still functioning and is now, in a sense, you could say not just broken, but crippled because they have different motivations. And their motivations are not to support creativity. Not that the film industry was always supporting creativity, but if you look at the history of film, there have been people involved in funding and studios, and there are certain periods of time more successful than others where there was a celebration of creativity in the film world. That be it as may, I'm actually sidetracked from my 2 points. So the 2 points are, one, my issue with AI is that it's not just a tool for human creators, but the AI is going to become, and is, I believe, already becoming creators unto themselves. So, and I'm a humanist in a sense, and I'm pro-human more than pro-machine in a sense. But it's not so much human versus machine, it's AI isn't just some independent entity out there that is equivalent, that you could say, and there's going to be people who are going to argue with me on this, that, well, what's wrong with machine intelligence? And shouldn't we celebrate it? Eventually, that machine intelligence will need rights just like human rights. And you see this in sci-fi movies. And that's one thing. Yes, okay, I understand that. But AI is controlled by extractive companies. And those extractive companies, I don't see them giving back anything to the world that they're extracting from. And that's probably my biggest issue. And so you will have AI creating content. We're already in a world where there's so much content that exists. and so much content that's created by humans. And if you start flooding the market for extractive purposes with content not created by humans, not only is it going to reduce the value of all content, which is already reduced to some extent, but you have to start looking at the question, what is actually created? And there's issues of bias, which are huge within AI, and there's issues of truth within AI. Not that there are some issues with truth with human-created product as well, but I think that the issues are greater. Okay, so that's one aspect, is this creation by non-humans, and I tend to favor creation. What's going to happen with the creation of humans? And what I feel we're already, sustainability within the creative class is already difficult. If you have so much content created by machines, that's going to make it, I feel, more difficult. It's already happening on Spotify, where you have bots creating certain, I think it's humans controlling bots, but that there's articles, I think it was in when I think I listed in one of my newsletters, where Spotify actually favors the music created by bots because there's, I believe, a less of royalty being paid. So you find that certain bot created music is actually getting a larger share, relative share, that human creators are not getting. Anyway, that's one aspect of it. The bigger aspect to me is that, and this is, how can we all get along with AI in a sense, is that there needs to be a governmental regulatory, and I'd say global governmental regulatory understanding that AI exists because of the culture that humans have created for thousands of years. And this is the true aspect of the extraction that AI does, is that it's trained on human creativity, and it functions the way, and as good as it functions as good as it does because of the training that has been done on human created content, whether that be music, films, the written word, history, all aspects of culture is what AI is trained on. And I feel that, okay, well, if AI is a tool and it's frankly already here, then to compensate for all that training and the AI companies would say, well, that's public domain, but that's public domain for humans to use. No one said that it's public domain for you extractive industries to use for free to extract profit from humanity. So I think to compensate for that, the AI companies who are going to be making, I would say, billions into trillions of dollars in the coming years need to pay a tax or some sort of fee that goes into a fund that funds creative endeavors, not only original creative work, but also funds an ecosystem of creating that creative work with audiences. So obviously both sides, of course, I'm going to say that. And eventually should create a fund that also creates a minimum basic income to not just probably creators, but also to all humans, because we're already in a situation where AI and AI-enhanced robotics are going to be replacing a lot of people. And I think there's already proof that minimum basic income is a good thing and is helpful to people. And who's going to pay for that? And to me, that's tech companies and AI companies. And AI companies is the new tech. So that's my screed on AI. And I'm saying this, I'm developing a doc series. I'm probably going to be using AI. I already use, I ask Siri to connect me to someone. That's AI. I have in my, I use Google Drive and I write in Google Drive and it corrects that there's some AI in there. I use transcription services. That's AI. I will probably use some AI animation. And I would like to feel better about using AI than I do if there was some funding or some tax or some sort of compensation for how AI has been trained. So that's one. So actually, there's a third aspect here, which is that I think AI outside, and then those two aspects, I think, are my opinion about AI in the creative realm. So, but I think we have to be very cautious about AI in general in how it interacts with us as a society. And as I wrote in my first newsletter about this, even the top AI scientists are saying that, even AI companies are saying, please regulate us. They know that this is dangerous. There's nearly, I would say, well, I think it's probably safe to say, every significant military in the world already has AI. Israel is currently using AI. It's being used in the Ukraine, and that will just accelerate this notion of lethal autonomous weapons that are out of the human loop, as it were. A couple of years ago, it was sci-fi. It's not sci-fi anymore. It's like here. And that's the thing that, as a society, we have to be much more concerned about. There's actually, so I interviewed Stuart Russell, who wrote the textbook, the AI 101 textbook for colleges. It's the primary AI textbook, and I interviewed him for the Mark Pauline project because Mark Pauline's making a killer robot, basically. And part of the reason is to illustrate what's happening in militaries around the world. And so I interviewed Stuart Russell, and he wrote a book. It's called More Human Than Human, and it's this, basically what I'm saying is that AI's here, but unless we get it under control, we're like basically done as a species. And this is AI scientists saying this. And the concern is, and he and a number of other scientists created this letter around this, and it circulated a year ago. There's 35,000 signatures on it. I don't think anyone gives a... And have I been good on the swearing, by the way?
Oh, you were excellent.
Yeah. I almost broke it, but I caught myself. So he and some other people created a YouTube clip called Slaughterbots. Anyone who thinks isn't concerned about AI, you should watch that 7-minute short film, and you might have some other thoughts about AI after watching that film. It covers a lot of ground. Yes, AI is a tool that seems like, and probably can, and many filmmakers are using it to good effect. So yes, it exists as a tool. I will probably be using that. I am already using that tool and probably will embrace that or use that tool more. And I ultimately want to feel better about using that tool. So number two, one of the concerns about AI is that it's going to create an avalanche of content that we as content creators are already dealing with. And hence, and then because of that, and then number three, because it's using all of human culture, there should be some payback to human culture from that use, so that extraction doesn't just run rampant and benefit a few people, so that it benefits the many. And even within that funding should also go to counteracting bias and should counteract the other ill effects of AI. That's my AI screed.